What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing my own mock draft of the first round of the 2025 NFL draft. I've been seeing some different mock drafts and stuff like that. I want to go through and break down every pick of this first round in my own opinion and kind of talk about guys I've seen from what I've seen on film and watching other guys and just consensus from around the NFL community currently. And I think it'd be cool to just go individually one by one and break this all down in a video. And for all you guys as well, I'm open to any thoughts or feedback you guys have. These will be all my thoughts, so no trades or anything will happen throughout this process that I'm going to be doing. I'll talk about if I think a trade could happen, but we're just going to go as if everybody picks in their exact position without any trades. So let's hop into it. Starting off with the Titans. So the cool thing about this one is it has all their different needs on here. I did see something come out saying that the owner of the Titans was saying they're going to draft the best available player. So in my opinion, or he's like, we're going to go for the generational guy. We're not going to pass up on a generational talent or something along those lines. So to me, that sounds like they're going to get Travis Hunter at 1. But realistically here, Travis Hunter probably won't go until 3 or 4 if they don't take him at 1. You know what I mean? The quarterbacks tend to be getting higher. So I could see the Titans potentially trading back with like the Giants, for example. That way they can take the quarterback that they want. Like, that would make sense. Maybe even the Raiders as well, picking at 6. I could see that being a scenario. So those are my thoughts right here. So we'll assume in reality they trade back, but I think eventually they will take Travis Hunter. So that's who I'm going with, 1-1. They do need a corner, and if he could play both sides or ends up being a receiver, he could play receiver. Now the Browns are on the clock, and assuming that the Giants don't trade up, I see them taking a quarterback, and the best available quarterback in my opinion is Cam Ward. So I think they take Cam Ward at the 2 spot. Some of these teams I feel like we don't need to spend too much time on. Now the Giants come up on the clock, and I know that people have Jackson Dart jumping up on their boards and stuff like that, but I just think Shedeur realistically will go 2. That doesn't mean I think he's necessarily the better prospect. I just think that's the way things are lining up right now, that he'll go at the 2. So here he is. We'll have the Giants taking Shedeur Sanders. Now we get to the Patriots. So we see some of their needs are running back, wide receiver, guard, and tackle. I think without question they go Ted McMillan. I think that's not controversial. Get Drake May a weapon. That is crucial. You just brought in a really good head coach. May looked good last year, and now you get him some weapons, with Booty and other guys like that he had last year. He did make a lot of stuff work without anybody, but Tet, I think, is a slam dunk pick. You go with Tet at 4. Now the Jaguars are on the clock, and I saw a lot of people mocking Travis Hunter to the Jags, but I think it's more likely they go with Will Johnson, get a certified good cornerback. They need cornerbacks as one of their needs. So I don't see why they wouldn't go with Will Johnson. I could see Mason Graham or Abdul Carter going there. But I think they go corner and they get Will Johnson and get another J-Ram in the building. Who knows how good it'll really be, but that's kind of my thoughts on that. Now the Raiders are on the clock. This is where I'm going to start to have a little bit of a controversial pick a little bit. But with my talks about Jackson Dart and how high they like picking quarterbacks, I think they go Jackson Dart here. So if I can find him on the board, they have him pretty low as far as ADP goes, but I think he's going to continue to shoot up the draft boards and stuff like that and get taken there. I can also see Milroe as a potential first rounder to them, but I just think they go with Jackson Dart. And now the Jets, they have Mason Graham and Abdul Carter fall to them. So I think as far as their needs, I think with Quinn Williams in the middle, they probably end up going with Abdul Carter, I think, is the more realistic pick there, and I like that for them. And then I think the Panthers go Mason Graham. Not much left to say there. Now the Saints have some different needs here, and I think O-line would be one of them. So I don't see why they wouldn't go Will Campbell here, get him off the board. They'll probably end up being more O-linemen taken up until this point, but this is kind of how I see it as it's falling. And now at 10, I've been seeing people say the Bears take Ashton Jeanty. I could also see them going with Kelvin Banks Jr. or another potential lineman. But Jeanty, I kind of like that pick as long as they invest in the O-line and beyond that in the second round. So I don't hate Jeanty here. So I think the Bears go Jeanty. Niners are now on the clock. They need a O-line is probably their biggest need. So I think they go with Kelvin Banks Jr. here. I think that makes sense. And now we get to the Cowboys, and I think they try to get a weapon for Dak to pair alongside CeeDee Lamb, of course. And I think Luther has fallen in a lot of people's boards, so I think they get most likely like a Mecca Buka over him. I know Burden's still a high pick, so I'm going to make, maybe it's a little controversial, but I think they go with a Mecca here. Yet again, you guys are welcome to argue with me against that. And now we get to the Dolphins, who have some needs on the O-line, the D-line, and safety. So Malachi Starks being the highest on this board, I could see them going Malachi Starks here. I wasn't the biggest fan of him, but I do think he will be pretty good. So we'll go ahead and give Malachi Starks to the Dolphins here. Now we get to the Colts. Their biggest needs are tight end, edge, and DB. So this one, Mike Green has shot up the boards. If you guys have seen some of his recent stuff from the Senior Bowl and stuff like that, he's looked insane. So James Pierce and Mike Green could be up there. Tyler Warren, I don't know if 14 is high. Like, is 14 super high for Tyler Warren? Do you want to get another weapon for Anthony Richardson, or are you okay getting the edge rushing? You know, they just got Latu last draft class, of course. So this one will be interesting. I'm not exactly sure what to expect here. So yet again, maybe a controversial pick, but oh, man, this is hard, dude. This is hard. I feel like Michael Williams is really high on people's boards. I'm gonna go say they take Michael Williams. I don't know if that's super controversial or not, but I think they take Michael Williams. Now we get to the Falcons. They need wide. I don't think they need wide receivers. Darnell Mooney, Drake London. I mean, Pitts might be gone, but I don't think it's their biggest necessity. Edge as well. I think this is where Mike Green shoots up the boards, and I think they go Mike Green at the edge position. They do need some D-line help. Their secondary was pretty decent this year, but their D-line definitely needs the help. Now we're on to the Cardinals. We could see O-line and D-line are some big pieces that are needed. So James Pierce, really good edge. I don't see why he wouldn't be a good pick here. So we're going to go James Pierce Jr. Now to the Bengals. Defense is their need. I know it says wide receiver, but defense. So the top available defensive player, I think they're more likely going to go D-line, but I could see the argument for corner as well. So this will be an interesting one. I say they take Kenneth Grant, though. Get that D-line solid, have some run-stopping ability. Now we got to the Seahawks. Corner, guard, edge, linebacker are some of their biggest needs. So, I mean, Tariq Woolen and Devin Witherspoon, like, I don't know exactly how likely it is they take someone there. So, Jack Sawyer, I think it's more likely he falls to the second round. And as far as the rest of the guys on this board go, no one moves me extremely crazily here. So that says center. I'm actually stupid. Sorry about that. But guard, center, edge. We'll take the highest edge available at this point right here for the Seahawks. I'm sorry, Seahawks fans, if I'm way off on what that would actually be. Now the Bucks, they're in a similar position. So Jack Sawyer, man, dude, everyone needs an edge, dude. I don't know. Jack Sawyer, yet again, I don't know. I mean, I think he's a great player. It's just from mocks I've seen, I haven't seen him going this high. The Bucks, I mean, their wide receivers getting old, dude. Like, Mike Evans is getting old. Godwin's just had a really bad injury this year. Like, would it be crazy to say they get a wide receiver? All right, well, I think I'm just gonna have to say they take Jack Sawyer, man. He could play linebacker and he could play edge, so I think that's not a bad pick for them at all. I think it might be a tad high, but beyond that, I don't see what's wrong with that pick there. Now we get to the Broncos, and they do need tight end. See, Broncos, I think Tyler Warren is a perfect fit for them. I've seen a lot of people agree with that as well. So I think that Tyler Warren at 20 here would be an amazing slam dunk pick for the Broncos. He's a good run blocker, good pass catcher, good after the catch. So I think Tyler Warren is a great pick here for the Broncos. Now we get to the Steelers. QB, wide receiver, DB are all their needs. Do I see them reaching on a QB? You know what? Maybe. Let's go make a controversial pick here. Let's say they take Jalen Milroe at the one position here, or at their position here. We'll say they take Milroe and shock everybody. Gonna have some controversial picks here because I'm not super sure exactly what they're going to do. Now, the Chargers definitely need more wide receiver help. So if Luther Burden falls this far, even Golden, dude, I think Golden is really good. I liked him a lot. I think from this draft board alone, it's obvious he's gone above Bond, but Bond was like, I think, seen by a lot of people above Golden. So now Golden's way above him. But I'm going to go with Luther Burden here. But I do think his draft stock has fallen a lot, and I think people would agree with that. Now we get to the Packers, wide receiver, center, edge, cornerback. I think their corners can need some help, especially with Jair being injured a lot of the times. Outside of that, I don't think they have too much going on there. You could probably get another wide receiver in the second round, but I think you take the best available corner. Now we get to the Vikings, running back, guard, D lineman, cornerback are all some of their needs here. Omarion Hampton, is he the second best running back in the class? You know what? Let's go ahead and do it. We'll say they take a running back here at 24. It's exactly where his ADP is as well. And that's fine. You get the running back. Obviously, the O-line could use some work, but I think they take him there at 24. I already know my board looks way different than a lot of boards, but based on what I'm seeing here and what I'm seeing from these drafts, I kind of like how this is going. I know this is probably way different than a lot of people's, but so far, I don't hate this. It's also an opportunity just to get an idea of what the boards are going to look like, some different needs of different teams. Yet again, tell me what I'm missing here. All right, as far as the Texans go, O-line, take the best O-lineman available. It's not even a question. You guys need O-line. So I don't think that's anywhere close to controversial. Now we got the Rams, tight end, tackle, linebacker. I'll say they take another tackle up here. Armin Memabo, I probably butchered that. Ravens on the clock here, wide receiver, tight end. I think you go get Lamar a freaking weapon, dude. Go get Lamar a weapon, dude. Let him get something more than just Zay Flowers is what he needs. And I know that Bateman played really, really well, but get him a solidified guy. Someone who has high-end opportunity, high-end ceiling for your team. Now the Lions, center and guard. I mean, do they really need an O-lineman? I think they pair somebody up with Aiden Hutchinson. So we'll take Tyleik Williams right here. I think he's a good interior D lineman and would be a really good pick for that spot. Now we got the Commanders on the board. Yet again, they need weapons. They're going to probably pick the highest available wide receiver at this point. But I could also see them investing in edge, and you could probably wait till the second round to get a wide receiver or another weapon. So we'll say they solidify their D-line. I think their interior D-line is pretty good, but they definitely need some help on the outside. Now with the Bills, wide receiver is a big need. D-line, linebacker, corner. But I think they go... Do they go wide receiver? Looking at the top wide receivers, Jalen Royals, Isaiah Bond, Tez Johnson, Nick Nash is on here. Kyron Lacey is not going to be on there. If he is, that's insane. So we'll just say they take the highest available wide receiver and go from there. Now the Eagles on the clock. I don't think they need receiver, guard, edge, corner. Dude, they are so solid everywhere. I actually have no idea where they're going to go with that. So they probably go edge because I would say Sweat's getting old and that's the most likely person to be out on their defense, and their offense is pretty solid. So they probably go edge here to pair somebody up along with Nolan Smith, who's looked really, really good. And now the last pick of the draft being the Chiefs, tackle, D-line, linebacker. With them losing most likely their right guard, I could see them taking probably a tackle. So they go Josh Conley Jr. And that is the end of the first round. So here is my first round mock. Probably a lot of the beginning probably all looks pretty similar here, but I think as my draft goes on, it's probably a little bit different. My most controversial picks are probably Milroe and Dart being taken as high as they were, but I don't see that being that crazy, to be honest. Mike Green has been a beast. I like that pick, and when it gets towards the end of the draft here, I could see it being a little controversial. But overall, I actually like the way this turned out. I think there might be some more O-linemen taken, or maybe some more corners taken throughout the draft. But I think a lot of these guys will get taken in the first round, and I think that's why they're mocked as high as they are. But I will be very interested to see how many quarterbacks go in the first round. I feel like every year, that's always the most interesting thing to see. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about my draft overall. I'm sure you guys have a lot to say about it and probably are indifferent as far as how I did. But it's a fun segment to go through, and even if you guys don't agree, I think it's cool to get some ideas of what other people might think. So yeah, just go to let me know, like, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I was the best one. You thinking way back, you should have kept them. You always question all of my methods. I try to hold you down. I just want you. Boy got a hit. I swear that you don't check your phone. I be pulling in the coupe on my own.